Yeah, what's going on? This is Loch Viral Munchies here for Leftovers, Season 3, Episode 3. Um, Crazy Whitefella Thinking. Follow me at Loch121. Subscribe to my channel. Share, like, all that. Comment. Uh, you know, send your theories, whatever you want to do. All right, let's get into this episode. First up, real quick. It's gonna be hard to keep this quick. So I'm gonna try to keep this as unconvoluted as possible. All right. So the preview already reminds us that Kevin Sr. been talking about going to Australia since like season 1 or season 2. And he talked to Kevin Jr. when Kevin was in the hotel. They showed that clip in the preview. And when he was in the hotel and he was high, and he said he was high on God's tongue, and he referenced this later on. Okay, so you see Kevin Sr. when the departure happens. He's a police sheriff or whatever chief, and he's standing in this like chaos going on around him. And so then you see Kevin's father, and he's playing a tape, a recording, a cassette tape of young Kevin, and they're talking about something about ducks that went down in the water, and Kevin is worried about if they'll survive. And then they come back up, and he's reporting it like a reporter, and he's a little kid. And so he's listening to the recording, and he's watching these Aborigines, and the tribe is singing. They start singing, and he starts recording. So then you see him go to a Aborigine land that's restricted, and he starts singing that same song. And I think he set a fire or something, and he starts singing that song. He dresses up in the clothes they had on, paints himself and all that. Cops come, they like, what you doing? He says he's preventing the apocalypse. All right, cool, sounds good. All right, so they take him to jail, and then they let him go. And they said he can't keep those Aborigine clothes, but they let him take the tape recorder, and but he can't take the tape with the song on it. But he does get the tape with him talking to Kevin on it. So then he leaves, and he makes marks on the map, I guess, for a destination, and he listens to him and Kevin Jr. talk about a movie where a character named Travis wants to kill the president, and it inspired John. And I put together that they're talking about the movie Taxi Driver, because in the movie Taxi Driver, you got Travis Bickle, that's Robert De Niro, and he wants to kill a senator who's going to run for president. And that inspired John Hinckley to shoot Reagan or something. So, okay, boom, I don't know what the connection is, but you got, his father hears voices. Travis Bickle heard something at the end of the movie. Travis Bickle, I mean. So, so he has his mail forwarded to what I think is a post office. He goes to the post office, and he gets the book of Kevin photocopied. He calls it the sequel to the Bible to the guy who's there. So he tells her, he says that he wants to find Chris Sunshine or whatever. And he tells her he has to talk to Sharon, who runs the cultural center around town or whatever. So 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 all right, he gets his mail, and the book is in the mail, and Matt had sent that. Matt sent Kevin the book. And so but he reads the book, and he rips out pages, and he puts $100 bill in one page, and he puts it in a National Geographic book. So okay, he calls Matt, and Mary answers the phone. She sounds pissed. And so then Matt gets on the phone, and he's mad at Matt because he's not in the book. And he's been talking to Matt apparently. And Kev Senior says, he doesn't want Kevin Jr. to come to Australia because Matt said something about him coming to Australia. And he says that Kev isn't part of his story. Kevin Jr. is a part of his story. Like, he's the man. I don't know what you're talking about. So um, he says it makes no sense, the story of Abraham, because what happened is Matt says that prophecy doesn't come through children. And he reminds him of Abraham. And then Matt says that Abraham's son was 36. And he like, that doesn't make sense. I thought that was funny. And he sent some money, I guess that $100 or whatever else he sent, to keep him quiet about the book and not tell Kev about the book of Kevin. So Kev Sr. got in an argument with Matt. And he says if he doesn't do the mission, Matt's going to need scuba gear because it's going to be a flood. And Matt act like he doesn't really care. And so then you see Kev Sr. and he throws the book away, actually. So he goes to the cultural, I don't know why cultural is a problem, cultural center where Sharon is. Sharon is, they call her the liaison to the tribes or whatever. And I love the fact that they call the bathroom the crapper in Australia. When he asked for Sharon, the dude said that she was in the crapper. Disgusting, but cool though. So he starts talking to her about Kevin wanted to be an anchor man and they talking little stuff. She acted like she wanted the D for a second. But then she sees that Kev Sr. is wanted for several things and questioning for stealing songs and ceremonies and having a fake ID and doing all kind of stuff. And then she said that he stole from those people. And he's like, yeah, the same way the government stole their children. And she said they apologized for that. She apologized. They apologized for that. So then he grabs whatever he needed, the directions, I don't know. And I thought this was funny. She was like, oi, and runs and doesn't catch him. He drives off. So Kevin Sr. goes to an Aborigine named Chris Sunday he's been looking for. And he wants to get his song, basically. And he talks about how a couple of years ago, he flew to Sydney, because okay, when the departure happened, he started hearing voices 5 minutes after that. So the people disappeared, and he ended up going to the institution because people thought he was crazy because he was hearing voices. So he said he was like fighting with something invisible, and then he stopped fighting the voices to go to Australia or something. So he flew to Sydney, and I think he was going to the Opera Center, the famous Opera Center in Australia, Opera House, I mean. And he met a hippie with a red bandana, and he said, asked if he wanted to talk to God. And of course, Kev Sr. was like, hell yeah. So then he said that basically what happened was he said that if you want to talk to God, you got to speak in God's tongue. And God's tongue was some kind of crazy drug that the hippie made. So he said he ended up waking up in Perth, which is somewhere in Australia, 2 weeks later. And no, he did not talk to God. And he noticed a TV in the hotel. And then he looked at the TV and he was like, guess what I saw? A chicken. Hilarious. Because, last season, Kevin Jr. saw Kevin Sr. when he was in that purgatory hotel when he died or whatever. And he saw his father in that hotel talking about God's tongue. So I'm thinking he gonna say he saw his son, and no, he said I saw a chicken, a chicken, and the chicken came from a town in the outback where it was only 14 people and animals, and all 14 died. I mean, or all 14 departed. You know what I'm saying? So then and the animals departed. So that's never happens. That's like way too many disappearing people at one time. The odds are crazy because remember it was like 128,000 to one for like 3 or 4 people who knew each other that disappeared, like Norva's family. So okay, so they said that only an egg was left from that town, and 2 days later the egg hatched, and it was a chicken named Tony. And he said at first people didn't take Tony serious. I wonder why they wouldn't take the chicken serious. Anyway, so people said that Tony could help people find what they was looking for. I don't know. Tony the chicken. So he found Tony and he asked Tony what his purpose was. And the bird pecked on his back and pecked on the cassette tape of Kevin at 8. And uh, Kev had that recorder and it was from his mother, and he was recording everything on this trip that him and his father took to Niagara Falls after his mother had died. Soon after that, so he plays the part of the tape where it's raining real hard, and Kevin Jr. is scared, and he makes his father sing "Itsy Bitsy Spider." Um, the "Itsy Bitsy Spider went up the spout," and the rain stops on the cassette tape recording. And so that kind of correlates because Kevin had to sing to get out the hotel of purgatory. So anyway, Kevin is collecting every song and every ceremony. And Chris has the last song from the Aborigines. And he says he wants it to stop the flood. He says it's going to flood on the 7th year anniversary. And he says that basically Christopher says that his song starts raining, and Kev says that's up to interpretation. So Chris says, if you fix my roof, start with that flood, I'll help you. So he gets on the roof, starts trying to fix the roof, but then Sharon come rolling up, and Kevin Sr. falls off the roof, and it looked like he hurt himself. You see him in the ambulance and a person with a mask on, but then you see it's actually Christopher who really got hurt more. You know what I'm saying? And so Kev Sr. is talking shit, so the ambulance kicks him out and gives him crutches. So he starts walking in the desert with crutches, and he's listening to the recording, and it's Kevin Jr. He's giving Kevin Jr. advice on starting a course, his own course, his own path. So he takes his own path in the desert, and he sees a car driving, and it's a dude. He gets out the car, and he says, he asks Kevin if he'd kill a baby if it would cure cancer, and Kev Sr. says no, and he says that's exactly what I said, and he sets himself on fire. I assume he was one of those people who was trying to get hit with the gamma ray, so and he didn't make it. So the car explodes also. And so later on, you see Kevin Sr. looking for water in the car, and he says, I know what you're trying to do is not gonna work. You can't stop me, asshole. I don't know. Talking to God, talking to the universe, spirits, the devil. I don't know. But then it starts raining hard, and that's weird because it's the desert, and it's like the opposite of what he wants because he's trying to stop a flood, but he needs water right now. But it also rained on the tape recorder, messes up the tape. So he tries to fix it, but it's messed up, and I don't know why he didn't videotape it or transfer it to CD or something. Seemed like he would have wanted to make provisions. So he's going through the desert and he sees a snake and he tries to hit the snake and kill the snake with his crutches. And he kneels down, he about to eat the snake, and wham, the snake bites his dumb ass. Before that, he had called the snake his totem. So I'm wondering, is that a double meaning, like in Inception, where it's supposed to like clarify reality, or just an emblem of him, or both? So Kev Senior looks bad. You know what I'm saying? He gets to this place. He's been bit by this snake. He's hurt up. He gets to this place. I thought it was maybe a graveyard, and it's like looks like a junk graveyard. It's a big cross, and he pulls out the page from the Book of Kevin, and then you see somebody riding on a horse, and apparently saves him. I kind of thought it was the lady from last week, just because it was a horse, but I'm sure other people have horses. So he wakes up, and a dog is looking at him. Message a dog. So he got all these shit in him, and he rips a catheter out his dick. I don't know. No, out. No, that shit would have stayed in there. Somebody got to figure that out. Check that shit out gently. Anyway, so the house seems empty. He calls Matt collect. I don't know how much that costs. Who the anyway? Collect. Where's his cell phone? I don't know. So Kev been knocked out for 3 weeks though, and it's only 8 days left until the day, that marks the 7 year anniversary. So he wanted Kev Sr. to give him the book photocopy he sent him, but he was mad as hell when he found out that he threw it away. So yeah, he wants Matt to help him find Chris in that hospital. He tells Matt to get over the book. Fuck him. And Matt says, go fuck yourself. So he wants to go to the hospital to find Chris or whatever. He walks outside and sees a group of people, a black dude, I don't know, and two other people. I don't know what they call them. So he asked them about going to the hospital, and he asked about Chris, and they tell him that Christopher Sunshine died because he fell on them. Fuck, damn it. So the people, they're building a boat, and he says for the flood, and they look like, yeah, they're taking the church apart to build a boat. They had a church over there. So um yeah, I guess they had read the book of Kevin and read about the flood. And the dog, message dog, is following Kev around the house. He goes back in the house, dog following him. He takes a bunch of pills, and he finds food, and he looks in the freezer, and he finds these pictures of a lady who adopts kids, has a husband, and they built a church or something, a chapel. And then he falls out from his drugs. You know what I mean? And then he wakes up and he hears something outside, and it's the lady from last episode killing Sheriff Kevin, the Australian sheriff or chief or whatever. So, okay, so this is the cliffhanger from last week. I called him Insane Drown Posse, Lady Grace and the Insane Drown Posse. So the last scene in the last episode was him walking out like, hey, what you old bitches doing? The four horse women. So they shoot him with a trank gun. So then you see him wake up, and Grace is staring at him, kind of like the dog was staring at him the first time he woke up from the snake bite. So she said, she just killed a man. She says she gonna turn herself in, and she like, um, basically she's like those other two women have nothing to do with it. And they talk about how the departure happened the day after in America. It was the 15th in America, 14th in Australia. Or it was the 15th in Australia, the 14th in America, or something like that. She says that when the departure happened, she was out at the store, I guess, and a girl disappeared right in front of her. She said she knew it was the rapture. Um, the register girl just poofed right in front of her. So she goes back home to the chapel and it's empty. She assumes her whole family departed. So for 2 years, she like I guess preaches the gospel, holds tight, and but then people call her and they found the remains of 5 kids on her property. So basically, what happened is the husband did depart. Kids didn't know what happened, thought the mother departed, and that's crazy because they was adopted, so they're used to their parents disappearing. So they left and they died in the desert somewhere. So and they, and that's where they died is where they put the cross from the chapel they had built, and that's where Kevin Sr. had fell out from his snake bite, where she rescued him from. So she was, she feels guilty because she never thought of even looking for them. She just assumed they had departed. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's crazy, right? So she, so basically, she, when she found Kevin Sr., she had the page from the Book of Kevin, and she read it, and then she was like, read a part where Kevin drowned and passed through the land of the dead and spoke to the dead and freed them from their pain and all this stuff. So she assumed that the sheriff Kevin was Kevin, because what are the chances of that? Apparently, there's a lot of chances of that because she was wrong. So when he refused, she assumed that he was testing her and drowned him to prove that she really believed or whatever, because she wanted to talk to her children one last time. And she thought he would come back, you know what I mean? Thought he was sent by God, and says that God doesn't care about her. And she was like, she's stupid because she believed a stupid, silly story. And she believed it because she's gone a bit crazy. So Kevin Sr. is listening to this, drinking his tea, taking her to the sunken place, I assume, and says he doesn't think she's crazy, but she got the wrong Kevin. Boom. End of the episode. All right, so a couple of things. I don't know. I assume Kevin is talking about himself, about the wrong Kevin and not Kevin Jr., because he doesn't even want Kevin Jr. to come to Australia and he believes he's the one. But I don't know if he ever passed through death though. Um, I'm like, yeah, so I mean, this reminds me though, the lady with the kids who go missing reminds me of that movie with I believe Meryl Streep in Australia where kids like disappear, and it's the question of did she kill them or did dogs, dingoes, or whatever really kill the kids? Similar. So Grace didn't age gracefully at all since 2001 when she started adopting those kids. Um, I wonder if those pics they showed were actually Grace or just a younger actress. She looked like Jillian Moore to me. And that was cool how they had this taxi driver reference. Like I said, Travis hears voices in that movie and wanted to kill a politician. I don't know. And then we got this connection with dogs, birds, eggs, you know what I'm saying? Just animals in general. I thought of what came first, the chicken or the egg, when they said that a chicken was the only thing left from that. Yeah, you got the dogs, the dog who keeps on following Kev around while at Grace's house. Uh, yeah. Trying to see what other footnotes I could hit with before I break up out of here. and I'm about done. I ain't even looking at chat. I just assumed because it's daytime and I ain't really tell nobody I was doing this. It wasn't nobody gonna be in the chat anyway. But just to do a quick review, just to make sure that we are getting all the theories out and whatnot. But make sure you follow me though at Loch121, LOCH121. Check out the links in my description and all that. You know, this title was funny. I thought they would say that title. They didn't. They never said Crazy Whitefella Thinking, as far as I can recall in the in there. But yeah. Kev be thinking Kev Senior has been in Australia for a while too. He was mad as hell he wasn't in that damn book. Um, yeah, that's messed up what happened to Christopher Sunday. What does that mean? Christopher Sunday. Christ Sunday? I don't know. They killed his ass. That's messed up. Kevin wanted to be an anchor man. He wanted to give the world the news. I don't know. Does that mean something? Yeah, so I assume that the voices that Kevin Sr. hears are the departed, maybe, because he said it was 5 minutes after the departure. Did he just snap and go crazy that quick? Mm. What's up with that God's tongue, though? Pause, but sound like that drug might be the shit. Sound like that drug might be all that. I wonder what the connection with Tony is. What's up with birds and eggs? What is going on with that? Yeah, I'd still like, yeah, Kev should have made copies of that recording if it was so damn necessary. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand. They kicked him out that car like Jazzy Jeff, though. They straight up kicked him out the car. Um, what does Matt and Kevin talk about, though? They seem to hate each other, but they got some kind of continuing communication going on. That's wild, though, that the people, they are already building a boat just because of what was in the book of Kevin. So it's very easy to see how you could end up with a cult later on, a Kevin cult. And that's why old Nora meets that lady who asks about, do you know Kevin? Something happened, man. Something definitely is going to happen. But the question is, are they talking about Kevin Jr. or Kevin Sr.? I never really thought about that. What if that prophecy, that nun or whatever, isn't even about Kevin Jr., but about Kevin Sr.? What if that lady really did do something to her kids and she made up a story to make up for that? So yeah, that's a continuing thing. Whole families disappearing and people wanting to talk to their relatives one more time. Nora wants to talk to her relatives. All those people who get burnt, who get gamma rayed up, want to talk to their people. So that's crazy. Why would they have Nora come though, seeing that she worked for the feds? They don't think that she would try to tell on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're stupid, basically. Or it's a setup. One of the two. Poor sheriff, dickhead Kevin, the Australian one. That's messed up what they did to that man. But yeah, I think that pretty much that is it, man. I think I got it covered. I don't know what else is in there I could talk about, but this season just gets wilder and wilder every episode. So yeah, follow me at Loch121, LOCH121. Hit me up, subscribe, comment, give me your theories, like, share, more than anything, check out the ads on my page. Even if you don't look at my videos, play them ads. That's how I get paid. Um, and definitely, check out my links in the description where you can see, my music, my videos, yada yada. But yes, the leftovers, season 3. I'm gonna be sad to see it go, and I hope they wrap it up. But this show is insane. That was crazy though. The taxi driver reference was crazy. Oh, the intro music was my own personal Jesus this time. So they're changing it up like every time or something. So that's crazy. My own personal Jesus. What would Kevin do? I don't know. I'm like, is this about Kevin Jr. or Kevin Sr.? Because Kevin Sr. is super interesting. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I'm out, man. The leftovers, but I will be back. I got some battle rap news to come with and some other things. So holler back at me. Hopefully the lighting wasn't too bad, but as long as you can hear me, you straight. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm out. It's the Lockster Viral Munchies. Yep. Check out my video of my newest live show I did on my page as well. Peace.